So hello guys, it's your boy Mathew Javier here again. And for now, we're going to do a chapter 3 tutorial. So, chapter 3 tutorial. So first, we're going to tackle about network protocols and communications. So network protocols and communication. So more and more, it is a network that connect us, people, communications from everywhere, just like conversations in classroom, uh, spill into instant message chat sessions and online debates, continue at school. New services are being involved developed daily to take advantage of network rather than developing unique and separate system for delivery of each new services. The network industry as a whole has adapted, or we have adapted that development framework that allows designers to understand the current network or platforms. So, within this chapter, you will learn about these models as well as the standard that make the network works and how communication occurs over a network. First is the rules of a communication. So rules of communication is what we work. The first is the communication fundamentals, rules establishment, message encoding, message formatting and encapsulation or message sizes, message timing and message delivery option. So first is a communication fundamentals. So the fundamentals that we're going to talk about is a network can be as complex as services, devices connected across internet. For example, you and me are talking two computers that are connected with one another with a single cable, and if anything in between networks can vary in size, shape and function. So however, simply having a wired or wireless physical connection between devices is not enough to enable communication. For communication to occur, devices must know how to communicate. So people, we exchange ideas using different communication methods. However, uh, regardless of the methods chosen, all communication that we're going with doing is have also three elements in common. The first of elements is the message source or sender. So, message source of people of electronic device that need to send a message to individual. So, the second is the element of communication is the destination or receiver of the message. And the destination receives the message and interpret it. So the next one we're going to talk about is that the third one rather is the whole channel. It consists of media that provides a pathway over which message travels from the source destination. So first, message source, to signal transmitter. So transmission medium, signal which is the receiver, and the message destination. So the next one is the rule establishment. So rule establishment, guys, is uh, we humans communication between governed rules. We all know that it is very difficult to understand message that are not correctly format and do not follow the establishment rules and protocols. So first, an identified sender and receiver. Or second, the common language and grammar. Third, the speed and timing of delivery. And confirmation of acknowledgement and requirements. So, that is all for the establishment. So, we're going to message encoding. Message encoding, one of the first steps to send a message is the process of converting information with another acceptable form for transmission, decoding services, and process into the order to interpret the information. Uh, that is for the message encoding. So message encoding requires us to message source to signal, which is the encoder, go to transmitter, next is transmission, medium or the channel, then the receiver or signal, the decoder, and message destination. So, next one is the message formatting and encapsulation. So, when a specific message is the destination, it must use a specific format or structure. That message format depends on the type of message and channel that is used to deliver the message. So, letter writing is one of the most common forms that written human communication for centuries. So, it must have an identifier of the recipient, a situation of greeting, the message or content, a closing phrase, and an identifier of the sender. So that is the message formatting and encapsulation. So message size. Message size, guys, is another rule of communication when people communicate with each other. So the message what they are sent are usually broken into smaller parts or sentences. So these sentences, guys, are the limited size to what is the receiving person can promise at one time, as shown in the what we're going to do if if we are talking to another person. So that is the message sizes. So message timing. Why message timing is important? Because there are the now I will go to tell you these are the rules of the engagement for message timing. First is the access method, second is the flow control, and third is response timeout. So access method, it determines when someone is able to send message. If two people are talking at the same time, the collision information occurs is necessary. What we call we're going to start it again as shown. Likewise, it is necessary for computers to identify an access method or host on a network to access method to begin with the sending message and how to respond when a collision occurs. The next one is flow control. Timing is also affects how the flow control also. If one person speaks too quickly, it is difficult for the person to hear and understand what they are saying. So that is the flow control. So response timeout. If a person asks a question and does not hear a response within a acceptable amount of time, the person assumes that there is no answer is coming from the acts of accordingly. The person may repeat the question or may go with the conversation. Host and a network also have rules that specify how long to wait for response and what action to take if timeout occurs. So that is all about message timing. So we're going to the next part with network protocols and standards. Network protocol standards have protocols that govern communication, that network protocols and protocol interaction, protocol suits, and standard organization and reference model. So protocols is rules that govern communication. It is a group of interrelated protocols necessary to perform a communication function is called protocol suite, and protocol suites are very implemented by hosts and network devices in software, hardware, or both. And network protocols is that at the human level of some communication, rules are formal, others are successfully communicate. A network protocol suite must be described precise requirements of interaction. Networking protocols define a common and a set of rules for exchanging message between devices. So it will protocols and standard organization, which is to have an open standard. So these are the organization of the open standard protocols. So first we have IEEE. So IEEE.org and IETF, IANA, ICANN, ITU, and TIA. So open standards encourage interoperability, competition, and innovation. They also guarantee that no single company products can monopolize the market or have an unfair advantage over its competition. That is all for an open standard organizations. So there are also benefits of using a layer model, the OSI reference model, and the TCP and IP protocol model, OSI model and TCP IP model comparison, and activity layers and functions. So the next one is data transfer in the network. So data encapsulation and in the network. So data encapsulation, which is we have the message segmentation. So in single communication such as music, video, or an email message could be sent across a network from source to a destination as one massive uninterrupted stream of bits. It where messages were actually transmitted in this manner. It would have it would have if it would have what we call that when there no other device would be sent to the receive message on the same time in the transfer. uh, so these large streams of data would result significantly further in the link interconnected network, and infrastructure failed during transmission. The complete message would be lost and have retransmitted in full. So message segmentation, protocol data units, encapsulation, and the encapsulation of data. So that is all for our chapter 3, and hope you learned something from the first. We've tackled network protocols and communication. Second is rules of communication. Third is network protocol and standards. And third one is the data transfer in the network. So again, I'm Mathew P. Javier, and thank you for watching this video. That is all, and thank you.